Some big changes are coming to the popular pirate survival game Crosswind. Crosswind was set to release towards the back end of 2025, but recently that has been pushed back to 2026, alongside a whole host of other changes. It will no longer be a free-to-play title, it will now be a pay-to-play title, not some sort of subscription service, alongside the PvP and MMO elements of the game being changed to make it more of a classic co-op experience. We've also seen a brand new trailer with loads of new features in and our first glimpse at actual pirate combat. Now those are playing in the background. As well as the pirate combat, we've also seen that we'll be able to hire crew members out of taverns, build up our crew and roster on our ships, making us more powerful and a formidable foe for other pirates out on the seas. Now, if you are a fan of Crosswind and other survival titles, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and stick around for much more survival content. We cover it here from Sunday to Thursday at 10 PM UK time, and on our second channel, Space Cowboy, we cover RPG titles. Check the link tree in the description down below for daily content. Now, the new trailer is very cool. Alongside the new trailer, they also released a dev letter going over some of the major changes. Since they did their sort of pre-alpha test, a lot of things have had to change, which is quite good, I suppose. They got a lot of feedback from the community, figured out what works and what doesn't, and are having to change a lot of the fundamentals of the main core gameplay loop. The alpha ended, and it's been very quiet from the team since it did end. But now, in August, well, the back end of August, they put out a big dev letter. They've said behind the scenes they're hard at work, reviewing player feedback, analysing playtest data, and reassessing priorities. And now they are sharing the impact and important updates on the direction of this project. So the little teaser was something that we saw, which did showcase a lot of cool things. The short preview that was there offered a decent look at new things that we haven't seen before, such as the Ashlands, a scorched, dangerous biome with new secrets and treasure buried under volcanic ash. It is filled with new quests, challenging enemies, expansive dungeons, and much more. The seas are also livelier, with visible crew on deck, complete with new animations and recruitment mechanics. Water physics and behaviour has also been updated to make naval parts of the game more dynamic and immersive. Tortuga has been completely reimagined, now a besieged outpost where the living hold the defence against the dead. And there is much more to come. We'll share additional details in future devlogs. But before we dive into the key points of this, we want to give you a bit of an elaboration on each point. We're changing the genre focus of the game to a more traditional survival game with PvE co-op as the main multiplayer component. And the distribution of the model of a free-to-play game has now been changed to a buy-to-play. Our goal is now to bring you to early access somewhere in 2026 as a solid, enjoyable survival game, which we will support with content and future updates all the way to 1.0 and hopefully beyond. So overall, pretty good and some massive changes coming there, especially with that move from free-to-play and removing those PvP elements. Being a co-op experience, I think, would definitely do it a little bit better if they do have some sort of PvP arena for the ships later down the line that is separate from the main gameplay survival mechanics. I think that could be a sort of good thing. Sort of like a matchmaking thing, 6 ships go in, 1 comes out. Sort of like the, what is it called? The World of Warships. Something like that, but with pirate ships. I think that would work quite well and could be quite interesting. But they want to move to a co-op experience as well, rather than a sort of MMO, for a lot of reasons. Players will now be able to control their worlds with PvE gameplay in their hands, but could venture into PvP encounters. That was an ambitious blend, and in the early days we referred to the game as a survival MMO. The alpha test highlighted many factors that have made us change that vision. Some hard truths about the technical challenges of this approach and supporting the kind of infrastructure needed for a true MMO style experience was a major undertaking, while aiming for the level of polish and quality we expect from ourselves, providing stable, global server coverage and seamless large-scale multiplayer is a significant challenge for a small studio like ours. At the time, many players told us they were satisfied with Crosswind being solo or just with friends, enjoying a traditional survival gameplay experience without requiring a large-scale online environment. And I think that's fair. I think a lot more people are moving towards that solo co-op than what they were previously. I think like it was a big spike of MMOs and being able to play online with as many people as possible, and that has slowly started to fade away, and more people are going back to solo games and just co-op and, well, basically couch co-op with friends. But basically, Crosswind is going to be now moving forward as a classic survival PvE game with co-op at its core, rather than an MMO-like survival. PvP, though, is not entirely off the table, but it'll be much more of a lower priority for now. Implementing it properly will require a lot of effort that's currently needed to complete the core of the game. We are open to exploring it in the future, but no commitments are going to be made at this point. Which, fair enough. I mean, getting that first load of stuff in there, working, and enjoyable for players, it should always be the top priority of developers. Even if that does mean if they want a PvP experience, they may have to put that on the back burner for a little bit, because if you launch a PvP experience with shit quality and there's a whole group of people playing, you don't just lose one player at a time, you lose 6, 7, 8, 9 people all at once. So having those fundamentals and basics ready to go, up and running when it launches, even as an early access title, I feel like the standards for early access these days are definitely a lot higher than what they used to be back in sort of 2015 to 2020 era. Nowadays, people do want at least a AA experience when an early access title launches, for the most part. I mean, a few people are definitely happy to deal with some small bugs that aren't too much of a game changer or game killer, but for the most part, performance needs to be there, I'd say. Now, the move to a buy-to-play thing is actually quite strange, because they were adamant all along that they were going to offer free-to-play with optional bundles inside the game. But without that PvP element and the skins, that does seem to drop a little bit in priorities. So buy-to-play is now an option that they're going to be doing throughout the development of the game, rather than that free-to-play. Obviously, early access will probably be a hell of a lot cheaper than when they launch into 1.0 a few years down the line. But they have said that now, moving forward, the game is going to be a one-time purchase model. A free-to-play version would require monetizing multiple aspects, which could be controversial unless limited strictly to cosmetics, but that would also require a constant flow of monetized content. We came to another hard truth. As a small team, sustaining Crosswind as a live service game would take resources away from developing new features and expanding the world. A buy-to-play model has been a staple of the survival genre. As fans of survival games ourselves, after getting the full picture with the genre shift and your feedback, the choice just felt more natural. This way we dedicate our time and energy to where it matters most, building richer gameplay, expanding the world, and improving overall quality. Perfectly reasonable, and I think a better model. I would much rather pay once than have that free-to-play, and obviously buying skins and people are dressed up in the stupidest shit, so I do prefer this one-time buy-to-play model. And now for the release date. Obviously, they did say they were going to launch in the back end of 2025, but that has been pushed back now. They've reached many significant milestones since the alpha, but they have had to change a few things. A large amount of feedback covering the mechanics, stability, quality of life, and balancing had to be addressed before we go for an early access launch. Early access is now our next major milestone, and we want it to feel substantial, polished, content-rich, and worth investing your time in. Not everything teased in the trailer is necessarily scheduled for early access, but you can expect more features and quality of life improvements compared to the alpha. Early access will be larger than the playtest, and we will continue to expand it. We're currently aiming for 2026, but the exact release window will be announced in a future update. We understand these changes may raise questions, but we are happy to address all of those. For now, our focus is on building a strong foundation that reflects what players want and value most in Crosswind, as we, the team, can bring that to life in the best quality possible. With your feedback and support, we're confident in creating a game that is worth your time. Thank you for your progress. Yours truly, the Crosswind crew. Overall, brilliant dev letter. Loads of good news there, and I absolutely love the look of Crosswind, and I cannot wait for it to release. I'm very excited for this one. A pirate survival game with those combat mechanics that look eerily similar to, Black Flag. That is like my favorite pirate game. Absolutely love that. Ship combat was amazing, and we need another Black Flag, to be honest. But that's not coming. So this is going to fill that hole for me, and I think for a lot of other people as well. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. For now though, we're going to wrap that one up. I've been Wired. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for watching. Check the link tree in the description down below for daily content, and we'll see you very soon with some more Survival.